As a man, you must adopt the mindset that food is fuel and nothing else. I want you to imagine that you're a gladiator in the Colosseum in Rome, and your opponent, it's a one-on-one, it's like the UFC. Your opponent is given a serum that's injected straight into his shoulder. And what that serum does is it gives him 20% more strength, 50% more endurance. So his endurance is basically about halfway to double what it was beforehand, meaning he's going to be able to swing that sword almost twice as long and a 20% speed increase. So this dude's just way stronger than he would have been. You're going to get in that ring and you're going to think that's so unfair. He's probably going to beat you because of this buff, even if you were about even beforehand. To the point where you would do anything to get your hands on a serum like that in this case. Even in a sport, if you could run 20% faster in any sport, you would suddenly go from being maybe mediocre, maybe average, to dominant. So why wouldn't you treat yourself to the same benefits in a way that's actually possible? Now, we live in a man eats man world where if we're not taking the advantages presented to us, someone else is going to take what we want. You want a feminine wife, and you really think that just being a nice guy, a good guy who's going to treat her well, a good guy who's going to treat her well, you really think that's going to work when there's another man who maybe he'll treat her a little worse, but he'll actually treat her like a human, which will actually be better off for that relationship. And he makes 100 grand a year and he's jacked. You're going to consistently be losing to these guys. And honestly, if you want a beautiful wife, you're going to have to beat these guys. You're literally going to have to be better than these guys in some way. And I think that your diet is the perfect first step for that. Food is fuel and nothing else should be your mantra so that you can get ahead. This doesn't even have to be just about girls. In any sport, in any field of work, your diet increases your brain power too, because eating processed junk is going to be giving you headaches. It's going to be giving you brain fog. It's going to be giving you a weird stomach pain that you're going to focus on instead of your work. So it's very important. I cannot stress this enough. Your diet is the foundation of your success. Now, what should you be eating optimally? Because you're probably not going to be eating perfect for even your first year of focusing on eating well. Jesus himself in the Bible was tempted by the devil for 40 days while he was trying to avoid food. Food is what the devil often tempts people with, but no one really focuses on it. So, good luck making it even a week of eating perfect. It's extremely hard, especially when your parents are buying snacks for the snack drawer. Whatever's sugary cereal is in the cabinet. That's going to be tempting you every day. So you have to be prepared for that. Now, there might be some Redditor thinking, I want to enjoy my food. I want to have that little bit of pleasure that comes from eating a Twinkies bar, even if it sacrifices my performance. And to that I say, you're coping. All of this temporary pleasure that comes from eating food, it's never remembered. Whenever you eat that slice of cake in the nighttime, in the morning, you don't even remember what that cake tastes like. Everyone I ask says, okay, I will remember that cake. They're joking. It never happens. They say that just to make themselves feel better. In reality, if you eat perfectly healthy, avoid every single sugary impulse that you have, you're going to be happier with yourself because you sacrificed the moment for your future self. A 2-year-old is someone who doesn't think about their future self. And a lot of people are overdeveloped 2-year-olds in this sense. Honestly, you shouldn't be eating 99% of what a lot of people eat. You shouldn't be eating out every other day. All these foods fried in these seed oils that puts something called free radicals into your food. There are these little unstable organisms that come from heating these oils really hot, and they start to damage your cells. These foods also cause you to become overweight. And a lot of people say that girls prefer a dad bod, but it's not true. Plus, even if they do, what do you prefer in yourself? There's no one that's actually content with being fat. So why would you settle for that? What your diet should look like is eating healthy in a lot of it. Especially assuming you're a teenager, you should be pretty much on a bulk. If you're in a skinny condition, maybe your parents are skinny, maybe you grew up skinny, you can basically eat whatever you want. Maybe you have little flabs around your sides. If you eat healthy in a lot of it and pair that with working out, what's called being skinny fat will go away. You'll gain muscle. Maybe you won't have abs, but what's more important in this stage of your life is that you grow properly. Now, whenever you cut, which is the opposite of a bulk in the weightlifting world, that's whenever you kind of starve yourself a little bit. It's where you lower the calories about 200-300 a day and you pair that with a bunch of cardio. Now, if you're really overweight, maybe a little bit of that will be good for you. Still eat healthy, still eat a lot of it. 10 eggs is less than 1,000 calories. Think about how hard it is to eat 10 eggs. Think about how much your mom keeps you from eating a lot of eggs. Sure, they're expensive right now, and that's a bad example. But there are ways to get a lot of food without having a lot of calories. So if you're overweight, eat healthy, maybe just not a ton of it. Maybe don't force feed yourself, and then become athletic. Do whatever you can to be active. Join a sport. Get into some sort of martial art. Start running for fun. Literally running 3 miles in 40 minutes would be progress for you. You think I can't run 3 miles? If you run it at a pace where you're barely moving for 40 minutes, that's going to do wonders for you. Suddenly you'll have trouble keeping the weight on. And then you'll have a different problem because the lower percentage your body fat gets, especially when your growth plates are open. Okay, so your growth plates are basically these things that cause you to grow, and they close when you're about 18 years old as a man. So while they're open, you want to give yourself the best chance possible to grow as much as you can, especially while your body is rapidly producing testosterone, which is like the male hormone. The more testosterone you have, the more aggressive you're going to be. The more of a good kind of aggressive. It's not just domestic abuse. Unless you're like an alcoholic, but hopefully you're not into alcohol when you're under 18 or in general. That's one of my values, especially as someone that struggles with an addictive personality. The odds are against me if I ever try alcohol, so I would recommend that no one really does it. It's something that will ruin your life. It's another temporary pleasure that sacrifices your future self. If you didn't know this, whenever you consume alcohol, whenever you wake up the next morning, you feel sickly. It's like your dopamine goes really high, and then it goes low enough that it starts to damage your body. Sure, it's maybe temporary other than for your liver, but that's an extreme example of delayed gratification. If you drink alcohol now, your entire morning the next day is going to be sacrificed. If you eat the bad food now, the rest of your week may be sacrificed. If you eat bad food for a week, the rest of your month may be sacrificed. Your skin health may start to deteriorate. Your gut health may get to a position that mine did, where I have these weird white flakes in my hair and I have acne that won't shake even if my diet is 100% clean. So, as a teenager, eat healthy in a lot of it, because if you eat unhealthy, consequences will follow. Now, while I can't prescribe a certain diet that will be a one size fits all for everyone watching, I can give you a bit of a mantra. Eat whatever your mom cooks for dinner, if she does, and be grateful for it, because she puts a lot of work into that. And then whenever you're on your own, whenever you're cooking, eat as much eggs or beef as you can. These two are going to optimize your testosterone, which makes you happier, makes you work harder, makes you have more of that zest for life instead of just laying in your bed and being inactive. That could be the secret to whatever problem you're having, is raising your testosterone, because our testosterones are at a record low right now and they're not going up anytime soon. You can watch the testosterone video if you want to learn more about that. Maybe I'll plug it. I'll probably forget. Nobody who has optimized their diet properly is actually going to be complaining about their choices. No one's going to say, I wish I ate that slice of pie back then. Maybe on a special occasion. You don't have to be such a square as to deny a piece of cake for a birthday party. Maybe you do. It depends on your goals. But every time you consciously make the decision in the morning, I'm going to eat that cereal, I'm going to eat that Pop Tart, because the doctors say it's not that bad to eat too much. Calories in, calories out. Every time you eat something unhealthy like that, it's going to stay in your gut, in the sense that it's going to feed these bad bacteria that are going to adversely affect you. And then here's the killer. If you're fat and you have a kid, your kid is going to be more susceptible to be fat. This is called epigenetics. Which is why if you have fat parents, it's going to be harder. It's going to be more of a challenge. If someone has skinny parents and they stay skinny, that's not as big of a challenge as someone with fat parents, because of this epigenetics idea. I feel for you guys, but there is a way out. You eat healthy, you do your cardio. It's going to be a challenge, it's going to be a struggle, but it's going to be so rewarding if you actually break the cycle. It's like if you come from a family of poverty and you're the first kid to go to college. That's much more of an achievement of if you are born into a family that's graduated Harvard over and over again. The same idea with your weight. Food is fuel, and you should treat it like such. Eat high protein, whatever your mom cooks for you. Try and avoid the things that are generally unhealthy. Whenever you look at the ingredients on the food, here's a pro tip. The first ingredient is the ingredient that weighs the most. So if the first ingredient in your cereal is high fructose corn syrup, which is another word for this weird sugar compound that's going to make you hungrier compared to maybe eating a vegetable, maybe eating some meat is going to make you full. This high fructose corn syrup is going to make you hungrier, make you want to eat more, and it makes you want to eat more sugar, more of what is essentially addicting you. It's a terrible cycle because the food companies, these food engineers, have access to something that mimics our taste buds, and they try to flare up our taste buds as much as possible. And then they also try to get us addicted to their product so that we buy more of it. It's really evil. And it's something to be conscious about. But if you're able to cut these out, you're ahead of 95% of men. And then suddenly, maybe you have something to offer. And that's a magical thing, because more people are going to be friendly towards you. Maybe your mood is really good all the time because of your diet. I've noticed this. I've become so much happier. I remember earlier in the video, I gave that gladiator analogy of 20% strength increase, 50% endurance increase, 20% speed increase. I'm telling you, if you are a teenager who eats a normal diet right now, that is the minimum. If you are able to fully clean up your diet, I bet you'll get 100% endurance increase. You start strength training, you get 100% strength increase. You become faster. You become happier. 50% mood increase. 50% intelligence increase because you've unlocked that part of your brain that used to be foggy. You didn't even know it. You used to have brain fog all the time. And then maybe you cleaned up your diet and it's starting to go away. There's going to be someone in the comments coping and saying, okay, this is too extreme. I need that slice of chocolate cake. I need that piece of pie just so that I can be happy. Look at that and smile because they're not getting that benefit of the 100% strength increase, the 100% endurance increase. Maybe you're thinking that right now. I don't want to sacrifice the oatmeal. It's not worth it for me. I would recommend you try it for at least 1 week. You can do anything for a week. Why don't you try and make your diet 100% clean? It is going to suck. I'm not going to lie. But if you can objectively see the benefits past the sugar cravings, which are going to happen. If you have sugar cravings, I would recommend eat a piece of fruit. Eat some honey. You don't have to go into a strict carnivore diet like I did. I wouldn't recommend that, especially where you're at right now. Eat healthy in a lot of it, and I would recommend that you start to get into the gym. If you can afford a gym membership and find a way to get into it, that's an extremely good first step to take. You can also start at home. I like to do a style of the gym called push-pull legs. That's called a split. Now, push is going to be every pushing movements, and then I also include the shoulders. So for that, try 100 push-ups. 10 sets of 100 push-ups. 10 sets of 10 push-ups. So you do 10 push-ups and then rest. Maybe go play a video game or something. 10 more push-ups. You do that 10 times, and then the next day, you do 5 pull-ups 5 times. If you can get that. If you can't get that, jump and pull, and then slowly go back down. And then the next day, you just do a ton of squats, and then you repeat that. And then on Sundays, you rest, because that's the Lord's Day. If you start to implement that now, maybe you're 13, 14, 15 years old, by the time you're where I'm at 18 years old, you might have a physique like this. You will have a physique better than me if you start lifting now. So get into it. Start eating healthy. Start taking your life more seriously, because you might not realize now, you might think, I'm just a kid. The more that you invest into yourself now, the happier you're going to be where I'm at, and the more success you're probably going to have. So it's important that you start to care about this stuff now. Thanks for watching, guys. That's about all I got. Eat healthy in a lot of it. Food is fuel and nothing else. Good job on focusing on your health. I think that's great. That's a good first step. Even watching this video is a good first step. So write it down. Try the week of a perfect diet, whatever that looks like for you. Peace out.